Are you tired? Tired of chasing something that always seems just out of reach? We call it happiness, this shimmering prize we believe waits at the end of our efforts. We pursue it relentlessly, through achievements, possessions, experiences. Yet often find ourselves back where we started, feeling a familiar sense of longing, perhaps even exhaustion from the chase itself. What if the chase itself is the problem? This constant pursuit can feel like trying to capture mist in our hands. The moments of joy arrive, certainly, but they often fade, leaving us searching for the next hit, the next peak experience. We are told this is the path: climb higher, acquire more, be more, and happiness will finally be ours to keep. But does this relentless striving truly lead to lasting contentment, or does it merely perpetuate the cycle? What if there's another way? A perspective whispered down through centuries, often overlooked in our fast-paced world. A secret, not of finding some hidden treasure chest of happiness, but of fundamentally changing how we search, or perhaps whether we should be searching in that specific way at all. This wisdom comes from ancient Athens, from a man who questioned everything: Socrates. Socrates, often depicted as a humble yet profoundly challenging figure, walked the bustling streets of Athens engaging people in conversation. He wasn't offering easy answers or quick fixes. Instead, he posed deep questions, urging people to examine their own beliefs, especially about what constitutes a good life. He noticed how often people chase things they thought would make them happy, without truly understanding happiness itself. The core issue, Socrates might suggest, isn't that happiness doesn't exist, but that we misunderstand what we're truly seeking. We often equate happiness with fleeting pleasure, external validation, or the absence of discomfort. These things are temporary by nature. Chasing them is like building a house on shifting sands. Inevitably, the foundation gives way, and we are left searching again. Imagine happiness not as a destination to be reached, but as a way of traveling. Socrates introduced a concept often translated as eudaimonia. This isn't the giddy feeling of a momentary win. It's deeper, more akin to human flourishing or living well. It's a state of being rooted in something more stable than passing emotions or external circumstances. So what is this secret that Socrates pointed towards? It's deceptively simple, yet profoundly challenging. Stop chasing the feeling of happiness and start cultivating the conditions for flourishing. This involves turning our gaze inward, rather than constantly looking outward for satisfaction. The journey begins not with acquisition, but with examination. The famous inscription at the Temple of Apollo at Delphi, "Know thyself," was central to Socratic thought. This isn't just about knowing your likes and dislikes. It's about deeply understanding your own values, your beliefs, your motivations, your fears, and your ignorance. It's about asking yourself uncomfortable questions and seeking honest answers. This self-knowledge is the bedrock of eudaimonia. Why is self-knowledge so crucial? Because without it, we navigate life based on unexamined assumptions, societal pressures, or fleeting desires. We pursue goals that might not align with our true nature or deepest values. We react to situations based on hidden biases. Knowing yourself allows you to steer your life with intention and wisdom, rather than being tossed about by circumstance. Consider the things you currently pursue in the name of happiness. A promotion, a relationship, a material possession. Ask yourself in the Socratic spirit, why do I want this? What deeper need or value does this pursuit represent? Is this truly conducive to my long-term flourishing, or is it a temporary fix for a deeper unease? Honesty here is key. Socrates believed that ignorance, especially ignorance about what is truly good, is the root of much human suffering and wrongdoing. We don't intentionally choose misery. We choose things we think will bring happiness, but are mistaken due to a lack of self-understanding or a flawed definition of good. The pursuit of knowledge, particularly self-knowledge, becomes a moral imperative. This leads us to the second pillar of Socratic well-being, virtue or arete. In ancient Greece, this meant excellence, fulfilling one's potential in the best way possible. For humans, Socrates argued, this excellence lies in cultivating virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, self-control. These are not just abstract ideals, they are practical qualities of character. Why virtue? Because unlike external goods, wealth, status, even health, virtue is entirely within our sphere of influence. It's about the quality of our inner state, our intentions, and our actions. Socrates contended that a virtuous person could maintain their inner equilibrium and sense of worth even amidst external misfortune. Their well-being is anchored internally. Think of wisdom, Sophia, not just as intelligence, but as the practical understanding of how to live well. It's the ability to discern what is truly good from what merely appears good, what is important versus what is trivial. It guides our choices and helps us navigate complexity with clarity. Cultivating wisdom requires ongoing examination and learning. Courage, Andrea, isn't the absence of fear, but acting rightly despite fear. It's facing challenges, standing by your principles even when difficult, and persevering through adversity. It requires knowing what is worth fearing and what isn't, distinguishing genuine threats to our well-being, like living unethically, from superficial ones like social disapproval. Justice dictation involves fairness, honesty, and treating others rightly. It stems from understanding our place in the community and recognizing the inherent worth of others. For Socrates, living justly wasn't just a social obligation, it was essential for the harmony of one's own soul. An unjust life, he argued, is inherently a disordered and unhappy life. Temperance, Sophrosine, often translated as moderation or self-control, is about mastering our desires and appetites. It's not about denying pleasure, but about not being ruled by it. It's the ability to govern oneself, avoiding excess and maintaining inner balance. This allows reason to guide our actions, rather than fleeting impulses. The Socratic secret, then, isn't a shortcut to feeling good. It's the understanding that true well-being, eudaimonia, is a natural consequence of living a virtuous life, guided by self-knowledge and reason. Happiness, in this deeper sense, isn't chased, it ensues. It arises from who you are and how you live. This shifts the focus entirely. Instead of asking, how can I get more happiness? The Socratic question becomes, how can I become a better human being? How can I cultivate wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance in my daily life? How can I live more authentically, aligned with my deepest understanding of the good? Living an examined life means making conscious choices. It means pausing before reacting. When faced with a decision, big or small, ask, what is the wise thing to do here? What is the courageous action? What is just? What does temperance require? This internal dialogue is the engine of personal growth and ethical living. It involves questioning your automatic assumptions. Are your beliefs truly your own, or adopted uncritically from society, family, or media? Socrates famously said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." This isn't a judgment, but an observation. A life lived without reflection lacks depth, purpose, and the possibility of true flourishing. Let's consider a common source of unhappiness, comparing ourselves to others. We see curated lives online or imagine the successes of neighbors, feeling inadequate. The Socratic approach invites us to examine this. Why compare? Is their path relevant to my flourishing? What virtues can I cultivate regardless of external comparisons? Focus shifts from envy to self-improvement. Another source of distress is clinging to things outside our control, other people's opinions, external events, even our own health to some extent. Socrates, like the Stoics he influenced, emphasized focusing on what is within our control: our judgments, our responses, our actions, our character. This internal locus of control builds resilience. Think about a recent moment of frustration or anger. An examined approach would involve pausing and asking, what belief or expectation is being violated here? Is my reaction proportionate and virtuous? What response would align with wisdom and temperance? This doesn't mean suppressing emotion, but understanding and managing it constructively. The pursuit of virtue isn't about achieving perfection. Socrates himself claimed his only wisdom was knowing his own ignorance. It's about the ongoing effort, the commitment to growth, the willingness to learn from mistakes. Flourishing comes from the journey itself, not from reaching some mythical state of flawless virtue. This Socratic path requires honesty with oneself, which can sometimes be uncomfortable. Examining our flaws, prejudices, and ignorance isn't easy, but it's through acknowledging these shadows that we can begin to integrate them and cultivate their virtuous opposites. True strength lies in facing our inner landscape with courage. So how do we begin practically? Start small. Dedicate a few minutes each day to reflection. Ask yourself one Socratic question. What did I learn today? Where did I act virtuously? Where could I have responded with more wisdom or temperance? Keep it simple and consistent. Engage in thoughtful conversations. Seek out perspectives that challenge your own. Practice active listening. Socrates learned through dialogue, the Socratic method. Explaining your own views and genuinely trying to understand others clarifies your thinking and exposes unexamined assumptions. True dialogue is a path to shared understanding and individual growth. Pay attention to your motivations. Before embarking on a significant task or purchase, ask, is this contributing to my eudaimonia, my genuine flourishing? Or is it merely chasing a fleeting pleasure or external approval? Aligning your actions with your deepest values brings a sense of integrity and purpose that fleeting happiness cannot match. Practice detachment from outcomes. Focus your energy on acting virtuously and wisely in the present moment. That is within your control. Whether the desired external result occurs is often secondary. The real win is maintaining your inner integrity and knowing you acted in accordance with your best judgment and values. This reduces anxiety about the future. Redefine failure. In the Socratic view, the only true failure is failing to live virtuously or failing to learn from experience. External setbacks are opportunities for growth, for practicing courage and resilience, for deepening self-knowledge. See challenges not as roadblocks but as curriculum for the soul. Remember, this isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about having emotions that are appropriate, guided by reason, and aligned with reality. Joy in virtuous action, sorrow at injustice, measured fear in the face of real danger. These are all part of a well-lived, examined life. The goal isn't apathy, but well-ordered passions. The constant chase for happiness often isolates us. We compete, we compare, we guard what we have. Cultivating virtue, particularly justice and wisdom, naturally leads to better relationships. Understanding ourselves helps us understand others. Acting virtuously builds trust and fosters genuine connection, which are vital components of human flourishing. This Socratic approach offers freedom. Freedom from the exhausting treadmill of chasing fleeting feelings. Freedom from being overly dependent on external circumstances. Freedom from unexamined impulses and societal pressures. It offers the possibility of a stable, internal sense of peace and purpose, rooted in who you choose to be. It's not about passively accepting life, but actively shaping your inner world. It's about realizing that the greatest power you possess is the power to choose your response, to cultivate your character, to live in accordance with reason and virtue. This internal mastery is the true source of enduring well-being. So the invitation isn't to find happiness out there. It's to cultivate the garden within, tend to the soil of self-knowledge, plant the seeds of virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, temperance, water them with daily reflection and conscious action. The happiness that grows from this garden is robust, authentic, and truly your own. This path requires patience. Cultivating virtue and self-knowledge is the work of a lifetime, not a weekend seminar. There will be setbacks, moments of confusion, times when old habits resurface. Be kind to yourself in the process. The commitment to the examined life is itself a victory. Notice the shift in energy. Chasing creates anxiety, a feeling of not enough. Cultivating creates focus, a sense of purpose and intrinsic satisfaction in the effort itself. You are no longer desperately seeking something external, but actively building something internal, something valuable and enduring. The Socratic secret, ultimately, is that the key to a fulfilling life isn't hidden in some external achievement or feeling. It lies within you, in the potential for wisdom and virtue that exists in every human being. Unlocking it requires the courage to examine your life and the commitment to live in accordance with your highest understanding. Stop chasing the echo of happiness. Turn towards the source, your own character, your own understanding, your own choices. Embrace the profound simplicity of the examined life. Cultivate virtue. Seek wisdom. Know thyself. In doing so, you may find that the flourishing you seek wasn't something to be caught, but something to be lived, moment by conscious moment. Consider the energy you expend pursuing fleeting pleasures. What if even a fraction of that energy was redirected towards understanding yourself better, towards practicing patience, towards acting more justly in a difficult situation? This redirection isn't about deprivation. It's about investing in a deeper, more stable form of contentment. The next time you feel the urge to chase something external for a happiness fix, pause. Ask the Socratic questions. What am I truly seeking? Is this aligned with my values? Is there a more virtuous way to address the underlying feeling or need? This pause, this moment of examination, is where transformation begins. It's the practice in action. Living this way doesn't promise a life free from pain or difficulty. Socrates himself faced immense hardship, ultimately accepting execution for his beliefs. But his philosophy offered a way to maintain inner integrity and purpose even in the face of adversity. It's about the quality of your journey, not the absence of obstacles. True contentment, the Socratic eudaimonia, has a quiet strength. It doesn't need loud announcement or constant validation. It's a grounded sense of knowing you are living in alignment with what matters most, virtue and wisdom. It is the quiet hum of a life lived with purpose and integrity, regardless of the noise outside. So let go of the frantic chase. Breathe. Turn inward. Embrace the challenge and the reward of the examined life. Cultivate your inner garden with care. The secret isn't about finding happiness somewhere else. It's about becoming the kind of person for whom flourishing is a natural state. It's about living wisely and well. This journey inward requires courage, the courage to confront your own assumptions and biases. It means being willing to admit, "I don't know," which Socrates considered the beginning of wisdom. Are you willing to question what you think you know about happiness, success, and the good life? Consider the virtue of temperance or self-control again. In a world constantly urging consumption and immediate gratification, practicing moderation is a radical act. It's choosing long-term well-being over short-term pleasure. Notice where you might be ruled by impulse and ask, what would a more temperate response look like? How would it serve my flourishing? Justice, applied inwardly, means being fair to yourself. It means recognizing your own worth and needs, not just constantly sacrificing for others or judging yourself harshly. It also means holding yourself accountable to your values. Are you treating yourself with the same fairness and respect you aspire to show others? And wisdom, it grows through reflection on experience. Look back at a past challenge. What did you learn? How did it shape you? What virtues did you call upon, or which ones were lacking? Extracting wisdom from life's events, both good and bad, turns mere happenings into lessons for living well. The Socratic method can be a tool for personal inquiry. Start with a belief you hold strongly, e.g., success means wealth. Ask, what does this term, success, wealth, truly mean? Why do I believe this? Are there exceptions? What are the consequences of this belief? This gentle cross-examination reveals the foundations of your thinking. Don't mistake this internal focus for selfish navel-gazing. A truly examined life, rooted in virtue, naturally expresses itself in how we interact with the world. A wiser, more just, more courageous, and more temperate person contributes positively to their community. Inner work radiates outward. Flourishing is rarely a solitary affair. Imagine the mental space freed up when you stop anxiously monitoring your happiness levels, when you stop comparing and competing. This space can be filled with curiosity, learning, presence, and genuine connection. It's a shift from deficit thinking, I need more happiness, to abundance thinking, I can cultivate well-being from within. What if happiness isn't a single feeling, but the harmonious functioning of the soul, guided by reason and virtue? Like a well-tuned instrument playing beautiful music, the Socratic path is about tuning that instrument through self-knowledge and ethical practice, allowing your unique potential for flourishing to emerge. So the next time the world tells you to chase happiness through external means, remember Socrates. Remember the power of the examined life. Remember that true well-being is an inside job. It is built, not found. It is cultivated, not captured. It is the quiet, enduring result of living virtuously and wisely. This understanding doesn't eliminate life's joys or pleasures. It puts them in perspective. Enjoy them when they come, but don't build your house upon them. Your foundation is deeper. It is your character, your integrity, your commitment to living a life of meaning and virtue. That is the secret no one tells you, the secret hiding in plain sight. Consider how much anxiety stems from wanting things we can't control. By focusing on cultivating inner virtue, which is controllable, we lessen the grip of anxiety. We learn to find stability within, even when the world outside is turbulent. This is not passivity, it is strategic wisdom applied to the art of living. The Socratic journey involves embracing lifelong learning. Not just academic knowledge, but learning about yourself, about human nature, about what truly constitutes a good life. Every experience, every conversation, every moment of reflection is an opportunity to deepen this understanding. Curiosity becomes a driving force for flourishing. When you stop chasing happiness, you might find you have more energy for contribution. How can your unique skills and virtues serve others or a greater purpose? Connecting to something larger than yourself is often a profound source of meaning, a key component of eudaimonia that chasing personal pleasure overlooks. Let go of the need for definitive answers to everything. Socrates embraced ambiguity and the limits of human knowledge. Living the examined life means being comfortable with asking questions, exploring possibilities, and refining your understanding over time, rather than needing absolute certainty. Practice gratitude, not just for external gifts, but for the inner capacity to choose virtue, to learn, to grow. Gratitude for the ability to engage in the examined life itself shifts focus from lack to abundance, fostering contentment regardless of circumstances. Acknowledge the strength you already possess within. The beauty of this Socratic approach is its universality. It doesn't depend on culture, wealth, or status. The tools, reason, reflection, the choice to cultivate virtue are inherent human capacities. Anyone, anywhere can embark on the journey of the examined life and move towards greater flourishing. Don't just passively consume this idea. Engage with it. Write down one specific way you could apply the principle of self-examination or cultivate a particular virtue this week. Make it concrete. The shift from chasing to cultivating happens through deliberate, conscious practice. This path may sometimes feel countercultural. Society often rewards the chase, the relentless pursuit of more. Choosing internal cultivation requires a quiet confidence, a willingness to define success and happiness on your own terms, informed by wisdom rather than societal pressure. Remember Socrates facing his accusers. His calmness didn't come from denying reality, but from a deep conviction that no external harm could touch the goodness of his soul, his inner state of virtue. This is the ultimate resilience offered by the examined life, an inner citadel that external events cannot breach. The Socratic secret, then, is less a hidden trick and more an open invitation. An invitation to shift your focus from the fleeting to the fundamental, from external acquisition to internal cultivation, from chasing happiness to living a life of virtue and meaning. Will you accept the invitation? True happiness, or eudaimonia, isn't about eliminating negative feelings. It's about developing the wisdom and virtue to navigate them skillfully when they arise. It's about building an inner foundation so strong that life's inevitable storms don't wash you away. Resilience is a byproduct of the virtuous, examined life. Think about the word integrity. It implies wholeness, coherence. Living virtuously, aligned with your self-knowledge, brings this sense of integrity. Your actions match your values. Your inner life and outer life are congruent. This coherence is deeply satisfying in a way that fleeting pleasures can never be. How does knowing oneself combat the chase for external validation? When you understand your own worth, rooted in your character and efforts towards virtue, you become less dependent on praise or approval from others. You have an internal measure of value that is more stable and authentic. The practice of Socratic dialogue with oneself, asking why repeatedly about your desires and beliefs, can peel back layers of conditioning. It helps distinguish between genuine needs for flourishing, like connection, meaning, growth, and manufactured wants often fueled by marketing or social pressure. Consider moments where you acted with courage despite fear, or with justice when it was difficult, or with temperance when tempted by excess. Recall the quiet satisfaction that followed. That feeling is a taste of eudaimonia. It arises from acting in accordance with your better self. Cultivating virtue means creating more such moments. This Socratic path fosters presence. When you're not constantly striving for a future state of happiness, you can more fully inhabit the present moment. You can engage with what is, rather than what you wish would be. Reflection informs presence. Presence allows for mindful action. Is it easy? No. Socrates never promised easy. He promised meaning. He promised that living an examined, virtuous life is the most worthwhile, most fulfilling way a human being can live, regardless of external fortune. The richness is in the striving and the becoming. Let the idea settle. Your well-being is primarily dependent not on what happens to you, but on how you respond. And your response is shaped by your character, the virtues you have cultivated through conscious effort and self-reflection. This is where your true power lies. Avoid turning virtue into another thing to chase perfectionistically. It's about direction, not destination. Aim towards wisdom, courage, justice, temperance. Celebrate progress. Learn from lapses. The goal is continuous improvement and alignment, not an unattainable ideal of flawless virtue. So the chase ends when you realize the prize isn't out there. The real treasure is the person you become through the pursuit of wisdom and virtue. It's the inner peace, resilience, and sense of purpose that arise from living an examined life. This is the enduring contentment Socrates pointed towards. Take a moment now. Breathe. Ask yourself one simple Socratic question. What is one small step I can take today towards living a more examined life? Perhaps it's 5 minutes of quiet reflection, questioning one assumption, or choosing a virtuous response in a challenging interaction. Start there. The path Socrates outlined isn't about austerity or denying joy. It's about finding a deeper, more stable source of joy, the joy of living well, of acting rightly, of understanding oneself and the world more clearly. It's a richer, more textured experience of life than the simple pursuit of pleasure allows. Challenge the narrative that happiness must be constantly pursued and demonstrated. True flourishing often has a quiet confidence. It doesn't need external validation because it's rooted internally. Embrace the possibility of finding profound contentment in living simply, virtuously, and mindfully. When you focus on cultivating virtue, you build something that cannot easily be taken away. External circumstances change, fortunes rise and fall, opinions shift. But your character, the quality of your inner life, remains your own. This inner wealth is the most reliable source of strength and peace. So stop chasing the phantom of happiness. Turn your gaze inward. Embrace the Socratic invitation to know thyself and cultivate virtue. This is not a passive resignation, but an active, courageous engagement with the art of living. It is the path to eudaimonia, true human flourishing. The secret was never hidden, just waiting to be lived.